Hey,
Sylvester.
not much. How you doing?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Doing?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So welcome everybody. I am Kevin, also known as Grivante, and today we are here with author Sylvester Barzey for the next Undead head-to-head author interview. This is a very casual affair, just to chat with another author, to get to know him, learn about his books, and what makes his series different than others. So everyone say hello to Sylvester.
Hey guys.
Everyone's yelling, screaming.
I'm real happy to be here.
It's good to have you. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, getting to know you better, and so I'm curious to hear. Your series is Planet Dead,
Yep.
And I've seen all of your, you post great videos and little blurbs from your book, so I've gotten to know bits and pieces of it, plus I've read your story, Adam, from Undead Worlds, which was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about Planet Dead. What's your series all about?
Planet Dead takes place in, like 2019 in a post-apocalyptic world. Mysterious virus has come out, and people who get bitten or infected with infected blood seem to die and then come back and just turn into these monsters. And book one follows Catherine Briggs, who is presumed dead by her family. So they it's kind of messed up. They think that she's dead because her car went into the river, and then they move on to Savannah. So it's about her trying to find her husband and her son. And along the way, she runs into a whole bunch of crazy different scenarios. So, yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned they turn into monsters. So do you classify them as traditional zombies?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Are they fast?
I classify them as zombies. Like in my world, like The Walking Dead and all that stuff existed. It's not like how, like in some books or in some movies, they don't really like acknowledge them as zombies, or zombies don't exist in their world, but in mine they exist. So everyone knows about like headshots and how to avoid things. They're just like regular people. They're just not that smart sometimes.
And I know you have a cast of villains in your series. Tell us a little bit more about them.
Okay, so in book one, the villains are the Rhodes Brothers. They're three kind of like three privileged brothers from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And when the apocalypse happened, they kind of went crazy. And if you read like Adam, you know why they went crazy. But then they become like these kind of satanic, psychotic clowns who have been kidnapping women and bringing them to this abandoned circus to torture them, pretty much. And Catherine becomes one of those women.
Oh, she gets captured by them.
Oh, yeah. Catherine and her partner, Sue.
Okay, so Okay.
Yeah.
And is she one of the ones that mentioned at the end of Adam, or are those other people?
Oh, no, those are other people. Like at the end of Adam, you get introduced to three other females, but you find out what happens to them in Planet Dead. So yeah, the Rhodes Brothers have been doing it for a while.
Gotcha. They've been up to no good for a while at that point.
Yeah, because by the time book one starts, the outbreak across the world has been going on for like maybe 5 or 6 months, but the outbreak in Georgia itself and in America has only happened for 3 months.
Okay. So now I just wanted to talk about Adam for a minute, because when I read that one, I was caught by surprise by the way the story went.
Oh, yeah.
It was really well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, so and the twist just kind of kept getting darker and darker as the story went on, and I really enjoyed that. Is there more of that in the main books in the series?
Oh, yeah. The main books are filled with a whole bunch of different twists. Like, I'd like to just explore how dark a human being can get, or what someone's going to do for survival or for entertainment, which is Like for Adam, I loved Adam. I thought that was like the best thing I wrote this year. And I just wanted to take the family aspect and show that sometimes your family's not worth dying for, depending who your family is, I guess. So, but that was a lot of fun to write. I enjoyed that whole project. It was great.
Yeah. So book 1 follows the story of Catherine Briggs, and you just read book 2 in the last few weeks, correct?
Yeah, I just finished it, and I'm putting it aside for like a week or two to get the holidays out the way, and then I'm gonna hit it hard, add some more stuff, edit it, send it off to the editor, and then it should be released either mid-January or probably just the beginning of February.
Okay, so it's still yet to come.
Yeah.
And book 2 does not follow Catherine's story. So what's book 2 all about?
Book 2 is Planet Dead 2, Patient Zero, and it follows Patient Zero, which is a character who you meet in book 1. His name is Christian Fidel, and he's a second-generation Mexican worker in a hotel in Texas. He's like a banquet setup person, and it kind of just shows where the initial outbreak in America actually happened. And then you learn more about the outbreak. You learn more about the CDC and just other characters that were in book 1. You get to see them through a whole different angle. And you still get to figure out what happened to Sue. And you kind of get to figure out what happened to Catherine.
So that leads me to believe that there's more to come for Catherine and possibly Sue in another book.
Yeah, there's more to come for them. They're not done yet. I mean, Catherine still has a lot of unfinished business to handle.
Well, she looks like a badass. I don't see her going down easy. So,
she was great to write. She was just like a typical like action badass. It's just her lines, her actions. It was all cool. It was fun. It was fun to do. And then I had Sue to balance that out, so that was good because Sue was just the person that needed to be saved every now and then until she evolved into her own badass self.
So tell me a little bit, how many books do you plan on in the series?
The series originally was just going to be a trilogy, but after I wrote book 2 and kind of mapped it out, I realized that it's probably going to be 4 to 5 books, and then I'm not going to like be done with the Planet Dead series as a whole, but that'll be the end of Catherine's story. So Catherine's story is probably going to be 4 to 5 books, and then I'll probably explore the outbreak throughout the rest of the world. Because I have some ideas for different stories that take place outside of America.
So we have a question from Josh Chad. He wants to know what inspired you to start writing zombie apocalypse fiction.
I've been addicted to zombies. I just love zombies. And Planet Dead, I started like 7 years ago. So that was kind of crazy. I just, I wanted to write something, but at that time, I didn't have like the dedication to write a book. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to write short stories. And then, so I wrote the first chapter of Planet Dead was a short story. And then I wrote another short story about her husband, and then all that was supposed to come together into one big book. So it was going to be like 3 stories that made up one massive story. And as time went on, I just decided to focus on Catherine. So as far as my love for zombies, it's just, I'm a big horror movie nut, and zombies are just the things I like to go to, because there's a lot of gore in it, but then you also get to see there's always like one twisted human being that either wants to like kidnap or repopulate the world or hide the fact that they started the zombie apocalypse. There's always someone in there that's just evil for some reason or another. And I love that. I love to see how someone just kind of devolves because of a situation.
Gotcha. Was there any particular zombie property that really got you into zombies to start with? Like, you know, a lot of people started with Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Obviously more into The Walking Dead, but was there anything in particular for you?
For me, like, I love Night of the Living Dead. Like, that was probably, I think that might have been like the first thing I watched. And then, like, I mean, I grew up in the 90s, so Resident Evil kind of took over my life. I played that game a lot. But like Day of the Dead is like my favorite zombie movie. And I love watching that. Like, I used to throw it on in the background while I was writing. But lately, as far as like what kind of shapes my the Planet Dead world, or what I feel like the Planet Dead world relates to in other media, would be Z Nation. I feel like it's a lot like Z Nation. Maybe a little less comedy. Like, I don't have zombie bears or anything, but I still have fun with it.
What give me something that you've done in your story that's kind of a little over the top or more in the humorous arena or crazy arena that would be like Z Nation?
Oh, just over the top and funny. I feel like it's just mostly the one-liners and the reactions. Like I guess in book 2 I have a character named Hector, and I think Hector's hilarious. He's kind of like this heavy set dude, and they're trying to make it from one location in the hotel to the other. So their master plan was to climb through the ceiling tiles, and Hector's like, I can't do that. I don't have like an hourglass figure, or what do you call them? He's escaping with 2 women, so he calls them toothpicks. And then he makes fun of one who makes him fall and calls her Becky. It's mostly like just the lines. The lines crack me up. As far as like just off the wall craziness, no, I don't have like zombie babies or zombie bears or anything like that.
Gotcha. No giant wheel of cheese to freak everybody out.
Yeah. I don't have that much. I did at one point. I was like, oh, I want to have a character that can control zombies, and my wife was like, no, don't do that. I was like, oh, okay. She just shut that down real hard. So I was like, well.
It's good to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. Sometimes they can tell you what not to do.
Yeah, me and her are working on another book. Like, she had an idea for a YA fantasy, and I just kind of took that idea and evolved it more. And I told her, I was like, oh, well, we could write it together. So we've been writing that together, and it really is a lot easier to have someone in the room to just throw ideas at, because like we sat down and like in the space of probably like 15 or 10 or 20 minutes, we named the whole family, the town they were in, the high school, and it had good names. It was like Essence and North and all this stuff. And when I'm by myself, I ended up naming a character Sue. So I need help sometimes.
So I ask this question for myself. So I don't have a lot of time to stare at books and read them. So I listen to a lot of.
I think we're lagging. He froze or something.
Did I? All right. I'll talk slow and hopefully it'll catch up. Is Planet Dead going to be available in an audiobook?
Hey, Pam. Yeah, I love so. Are we good?
I think we are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think there's like some kind of feedback going on.
Yeah. Is Planet Dead going to be available in an audiobook?
Oh, I'm working on that. Like, I already have a narrator lined up, and she's excited to do the book. I just wanted to get it like edited to the best of its point before I pass it off to her. But yeah, next year there'll be an audiobook of Planet Dead, and hopefully an audiobook of Planet Dead 2 as well.
Cool. I look forward to those. And we have a question from Jason Heckler asking, will there be more to the story of Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee's gonna as far as Tennessee story arc goes, I want to have a novella that explains Tennessee's whole background before the zombie apocalypse and at the start of the zombie apocalypse. But yeah, you see Tennessee again. She's not going anywhere for a little bit. Her and Catherine got a lot more dancing to do.
A lot more dancing to do, right? Uh-huh. Pam Troop Jones asks, "Do you like any zombie comics?"
Oh, I love The Walking Dead. Like, The Walking Dead is just like, it's amazing. Like, I first started watching the show before I ever picked up a comic book, and then I was like, oh well, let me get the comic book, and it's just it's totally different from, well, I wouldn't say totally different, but it's got a whole bunch of different aspects that the show didn't have, and it made me like characters that I hated in this show, because like in the comic book, I like Andrea. I hated her in the show. I was fine with her dying, and the recent death didn't bother me either. I don't care what anybody says.
Would you have cared if it happened in the comic?
Yeah, I liked him.
Was it more?
I liked him more in the comic. He was developed a lot more, but like I felt like in the show, he is kind of annoying, and then he went from annoying to just this like background character that you never really saw anymore. So like I never developed an emotional connection to him like I did for Glenn. So yeah, I didn't care.
Gotcha. Well, thanks for keeping that quiet so that those that haven't watched it yet don't know exactly who you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
So now I know you've also been in a number of anthologies, Undead Worlds, of course. What other anthologies have you been in, and what were those about?
I did Mad Like Me, which was an anthology of horror stories or psychological thrillers that are just based around whatever the author perceived as madness. And that was a project that was put together so we can raise money for sufferers of PTSD, which it's something that's important to me because I have a lot of friends that suffer from PTSD, and I suffer from some stuff in my own life. But then what was the next one? We did Descent into Darkness, and that was really fun too. That was just a massive horror collection, and the story I wrote for that was Blood Note, and it's like a rock and roll ghost story, and it was really cool. It was fun. People told me it had a Stranger Things feel because my characters were like 12, 13-year-olds who were they were looking for the last unfinished record of this rock icon from the 90s who killed himself, and they break into his house to find it, and it just unleashes a whole world of hell.
Wow. It sounds exciting.
Yeah, it was fun. I love this whole year. I mean, I've had a lot of things that happened this year that weren't great, but this whole year I got to finally publish my book, and I got to just take all these ideas that I had in my head and bring them out with these short stories and anthologies that we were doing. So it was great. It was a great experience.
Right on. And do you have any other anthologies up and coming that we should be aware of?
I'm actually putting one together myself with a couple of writers from Black authors of science fiction and I think thrillers or something. But we don't have a title yet. There's probably like 8 of us. So the plan is to have something done by October. And I also have another anthology project that I've been working on with one other writer. And it's just going to be a collection of vampire short stories. So that one's called Beyond the Fangs, Tales of Vampires and Victims. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Right on. So Pam Troop Jones also wants to know, have you seen Shaun of the Dead? She thinks it's a great movie, but she wants to know what you think.
Oh, I love Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead was just amazing. It's hilarious, and I really wished it was like a sequel or something, but I guess we're not going to get that. But yeah, Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland are amazing, like, zombie comedies. I love Shaun of the Dead more than I love Zombieland, though. And I also dig Night of the Living Dead, which is on Netflix, and it's about this girl who has like a one night stand with her dream dude, and when they wake up, there's a zombie apocalypse. It was awesome.
What was that one called?
Night of the Living Dead.
Deb.
Yeah,
okay.
Deb.
I didn't quite hear it right the first time, so I was like confused a little. So now you have a sale coming up on Planet Dead, is that correct?
Yeah, like what is it, December 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. I'm doing a Kindle countdown sale for all the people that haven't bought their gifts yet, because I haven't bought my gift. So I fell behind this year. This year I was just like, oh well, I put so much money into my author business, nobody's getting anything this year. And as we got closer to Christmas, my wife was like, oh, we have to get people something. I was like, well damn. Because normally I just buy everything from Amazon and have them pre-wrap it, and it's here before December even rolls out. But so now we're going to Walmart and buying our.
Gotcha. So now you were in the military, and how has that influenced your storytelling?
Like, I'm still in the military, I'm still in the reserves, but I guess I don't know how to explain it, but like, I read stories and there's always this like badass military person who's just laying waste and has all these weapons and everything. And I mean, there are badass military people. The military is full of badasses. But then there's also people that just kind of, it's just a job. So there's like cooks and stuff. And then there's like paper pushers who, if the zombie apocalypse happened, might not survive. So sometimes I like to show the aspect of, like, not all military. Well, I don't like to say that, but I would like to show the aspect that sometimes it's not as grand as outsiders make it sometimes. I'm not bad-mouthing the military. I love it. I was in it for 7 years.
Gotcha. And there's just like everything. There's different types of people and different things everywhere. So. Now, one of our favorite people, Miss Valerie Ludis, chimed in with a question. She asked, "Are you ready to rumble?"
Oh, of course I am.
Must be her.
Yeah.
Are you her person when you guys go to Rumble in January for the Reanimated Writers Rumble?
No. Me and Valerie aren't going to meet yet. We'll meet down the road after I knock out a few people. But I have my story ready. I'm just got to edit it, and I'm going to ship it off. And it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for this. I love competition. I think it's just because when I was a child, I was never picked for teams, so I never really got to do things. So I love to try and show myself off to other people, but I'm probably going to lose, so it doesn't matter.
I think it's cool. You got to show off with the skill that you're good at, so I totally understand.
Yeah, I like all the themes that are set up. Like, it's just going to get us all thinking in different ways. And I really want to make it to the Western scene so I can write a zombie Western, because I've been talking about that like all year and I haven't done it yet. Yeah, so it's going to be fun.
Right on. Well, we're coming up on the end here. Is there anything else that you might like us to know, or like potential fans to know about you and your work?
Planet Dead has just been revamped, so the second edition is out now. So if you buy Planet Dead, it's longer. It has a new cover. It's like, this was the old cover. I don't have a picture of the new cover, but this was the old cover. And we have a brand new cover, and the story's just longer. It's more in depth, and you'll love it. You'll enjoy it. Everyone that I've talked to has enjoyed it so far. I mean, I have had one or two bad reviews, like a 1 star, but I don't feel like they read the book. Felt like they just put it there.
That, yeah, those unfortunately happen to everybody.
Yeah, it's fine.
It tells other readers something that they might not have known and helps them make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I see you also have a Planet Dead Lost Tale. What is that?
Lost Tale is going to be, for next year, it's going to be a whole new series that has novellas that just dive deeper into characters. Planet Dead Lost Tale Volume 1 is the Briggs Boys, and it follows Catherine's husband and her son and her brother-in-law as they deal with the zombie apocalypse and come to terms with losing Catherine because, as I said in the beginning, they think she's dead. So it's just all about the family coming to terms with losing her because she was kind of like their foundation.
She was the glue that held them all together.
Yeah, yeah.
When you mentioned that you've revamped it and there's a second edition, so is the first edition still out there, or has that replaced the first edition?
It's replaced the first edition. So I guess if people who bought it already kind of refresh their Kindle, I don't know how that works, but update their Kindle, they get the new edition. But yeah, it's replaced the old edition.
Okay. All right. So I know that Valerie posted in the comments links to where you can find more about Sylvester. It's got a link to his Amazon page, his Facebook page, and a couple other ones. So you'll be able to connect with him after this interview. Sylvester, I really enjoyed getting to know you, learning more about your series and your writing. So thank you. Looks like there's no final questions from the audience, but we thank everybody for tuning in and checking this out. So thank you very much.
All right.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
And we'll catch up with you in the fan group here shortly.
Awesome. You guys can stalk me whenever you want. I'll talk to you guys later.